Have you read a story in the Draoithe Saga and come away with a classic case of Immersion After Effect? Let me guess, there are questions which remain unanswered even as the magic expanded, adding another layer to the dream. The grand desire to turn the page to discover what happened next ended with the last leaf turned. If you're asking where the remedy for the book hangover is, you know the answer: read another story. But you aren't ready for the next tale, not yet. The dust needs to settle before you pick up the next volume. So you have found your way here. You aren't alone. Even the author can't get enough. As you hear this, Ophelia Kee writes on. But allow me to offer you a possibility, a reflection on the tale you recently finished, and a way to revisit the story to ease the story blues. Welcome to the Draoithe Saga After Party. Warning, spoiler alerts ahead. Turn back now if you wish to read the story blind.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a world where, well, myth and reality aren't just close, they're intertwined. Magic is alive.
It really is.
So forget your usual fantasy tropes because we are entering the intricate and surprisingly heartfelt universe of Ophelia Kee's Draoithe Saga.
That's right. And for this deep dive, our source materials are coming straight from excerpts you've provided, specifically from her book, Lost One.
Okay.
And it's a fascinating mix. Think paranormal romance, but woven into magical realism. And it's all set against this urban fantasy backdrop. It's quite unique.
It sounds it. And our mission today, well, it's to unpack this rich, magical world, understand its core conflicts, and figure out how all these seemingly different elements...
Like fading immortals.
Right, fading immortals, ancient prophecies, how they all actually connect to restore balance in a world that, well, it feels like a dream, but a very real one.
Exactly. It's a saga defined by heroic achievement, sure,
yeah,
but also by some really deep personal journeys and dramatic history. So, yeah, get ready.
Okay, let's step into it. This world, Draoithe. What's the foundation here? What kind of place are we entering?
Well, the description is pretty evocative. It's called a literal dream world, where myths, legends, and fairy tales walk among the strange and wonderful.
So not a metaphor.
No, not at all. It's presented as a tangible reality. And the key thing is, magic here isn't just power. It needs balance.
Balance, right. And
the fight to restore that balance, it's waged, interestingly, one couple at a time, which really grounds these huge world-scale problems in, intimate connections.
That focus on the personal, that's fascinating. So it's not just epic clashes.
Not primarily, no. It's more about these individual bonds. Now, the saga itself is framed as a long story of heroic achievement, charting the founding of this immortal kingdom.
In a place called the Leah.
Exactly, Leah. And its initial purpose was specifically to fight those who were unbalancing the dream's magic. So it's like a central hub for keeping things stable. And the scope is huge. The author has smartly compartmentalized this massive story into several mini-series for easier reading.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so you get these tales of couples who find hope, distinct arcs within the larger narrative. And the time frame is interesting too. It's given as 016X.
016X, what does that signify?
It seems to mark a specific crucial period in their magical history. And while it's partly set in a kind of magical realist version of Tyler, Texas.
Wait, really? Tyler, Texas?
Yeah. But its reach is much wider, interactions with other kingdoms, different magical locations. It's grounded but expansive.
Wow, okay. That really gives you a sense of the scale. And the stakes you mentioned are high. Life mates are crucial for balance, and through them, the magic from the past lives again.
That's right. It tells you a lot about power in Draoithe. It's not just brute force.
It's connection, harmony.
Exactly. The past magic isn't just like dug up.
Yeah.
It's reborn through the bond between these fated pairs. It suggests a really deep, almost soulful connection to the world. It's history.
So magic isn't just commanded, it has to be earned through this interpersonal balance.
Precisely. And that leads into the warning that comes with this series. Adult themes, fantasy violence, and/or explicit sexual situations intended for a mature audience. So, this dive is for adults ready for some complex stuff.
Good to know. It definitely makes the stakes feel more personal, doesn't it? Which brings us right into the conflict in Lost One. We're dropped into the aftermath of Peter Elliott's removal. Who are these Lost Ones? What's their situation?
The Lost Ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's truly heartbreaking. They were essentially slaves from Elliott's harem, and they've been brought to Draoithe to be healed.
Okay, but what's wrong with them exactly?
Well, their condition is unique. and awful. They're immortal, but they are fading.
Like physically.
It's deeper than that. It's described as a spiritual and existential kind of decay. Their essence is withering. They're in a semi-catatonic state. The book says chillingly, not dead, but no longer alive.
Wow. How did that happen?
Elliot. He tricked them with drugs and warped their magic. The goal was to break their connection to their true mates, their life mates. He made them believe their fated partners were dead.
That's incredibly cruel. Magical manipulation on a whole other level.
It is. And the source highlights something profound. Loneliness was the killing disease of immortals.
The killing disease? What does that tell you about immortality in this world? It's not just living forever then.
Not at all. It suggests this deep vulnerability. Endless life isn't a gift if you're utterly alone, disconnected. For these women, because they couldn't claim their true mates, they were losing the option to heal, to face eternity. It's like a soul death while the body lingers.
A soul death.
Yeah. And Luke, the direwolf king, he realizes the core problem isn't physical. It isn't mental. It was in the soul.
And you feel the desperation from Luke and Eli.
Oh, absolutely. Especially Eli, his tiger queen. She was a victim of Elliot herself, so she's consumed to this need to save them. But nothing's working.
Right. They tried everything. Magic-infused drugs are gone. Black magic is a no-go. Other healers can't help.
Even Luke's own special ability, his dream inversion gift, it fails.
And then
the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, this is where it gets really stark. Even the Grim Reaper couldn't see any future for them. He's just waiting for their souls to finally slip away so he can guide them.
So if even the Grim Reaper basically gives up, what does that signify?
It means their condition is so fundamental, so soul deep, it's outside the normal cycle of life and death that even he operates within. They're not just dying, they're like dissolving from existence. It's a unique kind of limbo.
Okay. So conventional methods are out. This crisis is almost metaphysical. Where do Luke and Eli even go from here? This has to be the absolute last resort.
It is. They turn to the supreme beings in the dream, the creators, the rulers of the 9 realms.
The creator themselves. Who are they?
The white buffalo woman named Akiwa and the great spirit bear, Vimerin. They're appealing right to the top, literally. And Vimerin, the great spirit bear, he comes up with a solution. Something about woodsmen.
Yes, and it must have been completely unexpected. He says, the woodsmen of the forests need wives.
Woodsmen? Who are they?
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Vimerin reveals that a spell cast by Lucifer, yes, that Lucifer, a source of huge chaos, actually, paradoxically, created a way for this ancient race, the Veloians, or woodsmen, to survive.
Wait, Lucifer's chaos helped them?
In a roundabout way, yes.
Absolutely.
And these woodsmen, they're described as a lost race of lesser gods who are also facing the fade.
They're fading too. How?
For them, fading means they return to the forest as a tree, literally become a tree.
Okay, wow. So 2 groups both facing oblivion, just differently.
Exactly. It's this incredible, almost ironic twist of fate. The same chaos that contributed to the Lost Ones' suffering also preserved this other group facing a similar threat.
So there's a synergy there.
A powerful one. The woodsmen need woodwives to stop turning into trees, and the Lost Ones need mates to anchor their souls and stop fading. It's a potential brighter future for both sides.
A mutual salvation. And where does this happen?
In a very significant place, the stone circle at Draoithe. It's described as sacred ground for the druid pack there, a place for fealty oaths. The location itself adds weight to it all.
Okay, so this plan, divinely suggested, incredibly unorthodox. It's set in motion. Let's look at the first pairing. Zaldavar and Leah, a new beginning. Who is Zaldavar?
Zaldavar Oakwood. He's a woodsman already long into the fade, and he leads this sort of loose council of 9 woodsmen. Initially, he's a bit skeptical of Luke, maybe because of rank or type.
A shifter king versus a fading lesser god.
Right, but he quickly senses the magic at Draoithe, the exquisite balance, and recognizes its hallowed ground. That plus their own desperate need, and honestly, pity for the Lost Ones. They agree to this unorthodox opportunity.
And how does he claim one? How does the healing work?
It's fascinating. He explains he has this unique magic, a violet mist that can erase a woman's misery. But there's a condition.
Which is?
His need to heal her was strong enough.
Yeah.
It's like empathy fuels the magic.
Wow, empathy as a magical catalyst. And who does he choose?
He chooses Leah Wolf. She's described as nearly curled into herself. Someone who wanted only to disappear and be alone, just radiating trauma.
And the healing itself, it's described vividly.
It is. You picture his gnarled, twig-like fingers offering comfort, and this violet mist magic slowly erasing the taint from her soul.
And where does the taint, the misery, go?
This is incredibly symbolic. He gets sent to a gnarled tree nearby.
Yeah.
The vileness of her tragic life is transferred.
Transferred into a tree. And the other woodsmen do this too.
Yes, 8 others pair with 8 other lost ones. And the result is these 9 trees that form the shape of a heart behind the stone circle. A literal grove of healing.
A heart grove. That's powerful imagery. So what about Zaldavar and Leah's relationship? How does that evolve? She's a canine shiftler.
Yeah, she can shift into a wolf form. Her first reaction is apparently, "You're not the one."
Understandable confusion.
Right.
But it gives way pretty quickly to this shy, almost wolf-like affection. She accepts him. She even marks his treetop home as her territory, like a wolf would. It's instinctual, deep.
And Zaldavar, his side of things.
He's incredibly dedicated. He tells her he searched for you for decades, built his home, this cave dwelling, for you. Everything handcrafted with pride. It's not just duty, it's devotion.
So the wolf girl and tree man, an unlikely pair, as the text says.
Extremely unlikely. But it was a good match. It really speaks to the saga's view on love, I think.
So.
It shows that healing and real connection come from accepting someone's true nature, trauma, and all. They follow this ritual, the law of 3 and 9.
What does that do?
It ensures Leah would never fade away. It anchors her soul. And crucially, it anchors Zaldavar in the dream as a man, stopping his own fade into a tree.
So they literally save each other. Exactly. Mutual salvation. And Leah feels safer in her wolf form because of her past trauma, right? Zaldavar understands that, protects that. He gives her peace and protection, allowing her true self, even her wolf self, to heal.
It's not about changing her, but protecting her as she is.
Precisely. It's radical acceptance leading to healing for both.
That's a really profound way to look at relationships and healing. Okay, so this first success, it paves the way for something bigger, right? A larger prophecy.
It does. Zaldavar signs an agreement, establishing this heart grove at Draoithe. It becomes a focal point, a place where magic gathers to call a protector or companion for other lost ones who might appear.
A dedicated place of healing. And then there's this twist with Lucifer.
Right. Lucifer Lariu, the devil who nearly broke the dream, is now somehow tasked with guarding the gateway into the maze connected to the heart grove.
Guarding it. Why?
To ensure the protectors were worthy.
Wow. What does that say about the morality here? Good, evil.
Seems complicated. Very complicated. It suggests maybe redemption is possible, or maybe it's just cosmic checks and balances. Even a devil might be bound by a higher purpose, or perhaps it's a form of penance. It definitely blurs the lines.
Okay, so Zaldavar has succeeded, the heart grove is established, but his role isn't the ultimate one.
No. He understands he's there to pave the way for a god to assume command of the Veloian Council, the Woodsmen's Council. He's a crucial step, but not the final one.
And the story continues. 5 years pass. The chaos magic Lucifer set off is still causing ripples.
Yes, it's still winding through the dream. More woodsmen are fading. The council needs a permanent, powerful leader.
And they have someone in mind.
They do. Zorn Aaronwood. He's powerful. He should lead the council, but there's a catch. He needs to achieve lesser god status first.
Why?
To be powerful enough to claim his destined woodwife. It's all interconnected. One thing needs to happen for the next domino to fall.
An intricate chain of events. So how does Zorn become a god?
Well, this leads to the biggest challenge yet. For Zorn to ascend, Weimarin, the great spirit bearer, the king of the dream, has to do something drastic.
Which is?
He must awaken the last of the ethereal battle lords.
Okay, that sounds important. Who is this battle lord?
A diamond dust dragon named Lance Devolin. Apparently, he went mad at some point and was put into a magical sleep spell.
A mad diamond dust dragon.
Right.
And Weimarin wakes him up.
Yes, and tells Lance that to fulfill his destiny, which is tied to Zorn's ascension, Lance would need to claim the last lost one at Draoithe and change everything.
The last lost one. So this problem is still ongoing, even years later. And Lance, this powerful dragon, has to claim her.
Exactly. It links the highest level of power, this ethereal battle lord, directly back to the most vulnerable, the original problem of the lost ones. Ultimate power requires ultimate empathy, it seems.
And Lance, is he on board with this plan? He just woke up from madness-induced sleep?
Not initially, no. He refuses. He just wants his own fated mate, his thrallish's princess. He doesn't want this imposed destiny.
Understandable.
But Weimarin challenges him directly. with these powerful, magical whispers.
What does he say?
He says, "The lost one awaits you in the Heart Grove. She sits alone, a slave left to die. Will you let your Valkyrie descend into the underworld yet again, or will you be the master of destiny?"
Wow, that's quite the choice. He's linking saving this lost one directly to Lanços's own fated mate, his Valkyrie, and calling him the master of destiny.
Precisely. It lays bare the core conflict, doesn't it? It's the ultimate question for Lance, and maybe for the whole saga.
What do you think that agonizing choice tells us about love, sacrifice, destiny in this world?
I think it says destiny isn't just some grand abstract thing. It's forged in these deeply personal, often incredibly painful choices. Lance has to weigh his deepest desire against a greater purpose, knowing they might be connected in ways he doesn't even understand yet.
So being the master of destiny isn't about just having power.
No. It seems to be about the willingness to make the hard, selfless choice, even when your own heart, your own fated love, is pulling you in another direction. It's about responsibility that comes with power, and perhaps even love itself.
What a journey we've taken just now through this world where, ancient beings and very modern-feeling magical problems collide.
And it shows how things like compassion, mutual need, understanding healing on a soul level, how they can literally reshape reality, reshape destiny.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it, that even when you have prophecies and supreme beings, maybe the biggest changes come from those personal connections, those acts of empathy.
Absolutely. That seems to be a core message running through it all.
So thinking about all this, what really stands out to you from this deep dive? Maybe it's that idea that real healing means facing the absolute worst despair. Or maybe it's how personal connections seem to hold the ultimate power, even more than prophecies.
That's a great question. For you listening, maybe consider this. If this ancient, powerful being, the master of destiny, has to choose between his own deepest love and saving this forgotten lost one to fulfill a larger purpose, what does that suggest about the nature of love, sacrifice, and that intricate dance of destiny? Not just in Draoithe, but maybe in the stories we tell ourselves too.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your support. For more, visit opheliakee.com. Welcome to the dream. Sincerely. Okay.